It was just past 7 a.m. when Emily Thompson began her shift at Maple Street Diner, the kind of small-town restaurant where the scent of fresh brewed coffee clung to the walls and regulars had their favorite booths like church pews. Emily wasn't anyone particularly extraordinary, at least by her own judgment. Just a 28-year-old waitress with a tired smile, a compassionate heart, and a dream deferred. She had always planned to become a teacher, but life had other ideas, like mounting student debt, a mother with cancer, and rent that wouldn't wait for anyone's dreams. Still, she smiled for her customers, poured coffee with grace, and took pride in remembering that Mr. Walters liked his eggs over medium with extra pepper. But among all the patrons, there was one who never spoke. He came alone, always sat at the farthest corner booth, and never ordered. A small boy, no more than 7 or 8, with thick brown curls, oversized clothes, and eyes that told stories his lips could not. Emily noticed him first on a rainy Tuesday. He stood outside the diner, shivering, watching the warmth inside like someone peering through a window at another life. That day, she brought him a sandwich in a brown paper bag and left it on the bench outside. He didn't say thank you. He didn't need to. The next morning, he was there again. And the morning after that. Soon, it became a ritual. She'd pack him a little breakfast, scrambled eggs and toast, sometimes pancakes if the cook was in a good mood. She'd leave it quietly at the bench before the rush began. He never came in. Never asked. Never spoke. Emily didn't tell anyone. Not her co-workers, not her boss, not even her mother. It felt sacred, this unspoken exchange of food and dignity. Something in the boy's silence pulled at a place deep inside her, a place still raw from watching her mother fight cancer with a bravery that made words feel small. She recognized that same quiet fight in the boy's eyes. One morning, after about 2 months, she dared to sit next to him for a moment. "Hey," she said softly. "You okay?" The boy just looked at her. His eyes darted to her hands, then back to her face. He nodded faintly. "No words." "You don't have to say anything," she said, pulling her jacket tighter against the cold. "But if you ever need more food, or anything at all, I'm here. My name's Emily." He didn't smile. But his eyes softened. From then on, she added little notes to the breakfast bags. "Have a great day. You're stronger than you know. Someone out here is rooting for you." She never knew if he read them. He never responded. But he kept coming. And so did she. Then, one Thursday morning in early spring, the boy didn't show up. Emily waited by the bench for nearly half an hour after her shift started. Nothing. No curls. No eyes. Just an empty sidewalk and a breeze that felt unusually cruel. He didn't come the next day, either. Or the next. Days turned to weeks. Emily's heart sank with each sunrise. She checked the local news. No missing child reports. No hospital admissions. It was like he had vanished from the earth. She feared the worst. But then, nearly a month later, something unimaginable happened. It was a Saturday, barely 6 a.m. The diner was barely open, coffee still brewing when the first sound came, an intense, thunderous thrum. Then another. The sky darkened slightly as helicopters descended above Maple Street. Black helicopters. Military. Everyone rushed outside. Plates abandoned, coffee spilled, jaws slack. 3 helicopters landed in the empty field across from the diner. Men in suits and uniforms spilled out, like a scene from a movie. One approached the diner directly. He was tall, silver-haired, with an air of authority that made people instinctively step aside. "Which one of you is Emily Thompson?" he asked. Heart pounding, Emily raised a shaking hand. "We need to speak with you," the man said calmly. "Now." The entire town was buzzing as she was escorted across the street to a black SUV. Inside sat a woman in her 40s, sharp-suited, with tired eyes and a voice like velvet. "My name is Dr. Helen Sato," she said. "I work with a covert international agency. What I'm about to tell you is classified. But you deserve to know." Emily could barely breathe. "The boy you've been feeding is not who you think he is. His name is Elias. He's the son of a top-level defected scientist from an Eastern European nation. His father developed technology with global security implications, encryption algorithms capable of destabilizing military communications. When the scientist died under suspicious circumstances, his son went into hiding. We've been searching for Elias for over 6 months." Emily's head spun. "He's mute by trauma, not birth," Dr. Sato continued. "The people who were after his father are now after him. We couldn't locate him until he made contact." "What do you mean?" Emily whispered. Dr. Sato slid a photo across the seat. A familiar brown paper bag. Her handwriting on the note visible: "Someone out here is rooting for you." "He left this bag outside a government drop point, with this note," she said. "It led us straight here." Emily blinked back tears. "He trusted you," Dr. Sato said. "You were his lifeline. Without you, we may never have found him. He's safe now. Because of you." The woman paused. "He wants to see you." Tears now freely flowing, Emily stepped out of the SUV and followed Dr. Sato to one of the helicopters. Inside, seated on a bench, was Elias. He looked older somehow. Still mute, but now with a flicker of peace in his eyes. When he saw Emily, he stood. And then, in a voice barely audible, hoarse and uncertain, he whispered, "Thank you." Emily fell to her knees. That one word held more weight than 1,000 speeches. It was the voice of a child finally feeling safe. The culmination of every quiet morning. Every meal shared in silence. Every note scrawled with love. The town later learned that Elias had been taken to a secure location with a new identity. Emily never saw him again. But 1 year later, on the anniversary of that surreal morning, she received a letter in a child's handwriting. "Dear Emily. I go to school now. I have a dog. I have a safe home. I speak more. They say I'm healing. But I know it started with you. You didn't have to feed me. But you did. You didn't know my name. But you saw me. You saved my life. Love, Elias." Emily framed the letter. And every time she questioned her purpose, her worth, her place in this messy world, she looked at it and remembered. You don't need to be extraordinary to change a life. Sometimes, you just need to see someone who's invisible. And show up. One plate of eggs at a time.